I keep hearing people tell me Russian is so complicated, Russian is so difficult. I mean, look at the words for dog. Like, why are there 6 different forms for the word for dog, or 5 in this case? You've got sabaka, you've got sabaku, sabakye, sabaki, sabake, and sabakye again. Like, what's going on, right? But this is what makes Russian so interesting. Let me give you an example. Okay, let's create an imaginary sentence. We've got a story here. Alex gave the bone to the dog belonging to Linda using a shovel in the park. So we've got Alex, this is Alex. He gave something, which is a bone, to the dog belonging to Linda, using a shovel in the park. So we've got a nice story going on here. Now let's break down this sentence. Let's ignore the verb. The verb here is gave, right? We're going to look at all the nouns, all the people, all the animals, all the things, all the places. So Alex, the bone, to the dog, belonging to Linda, using a shovel in the park. Let's break this all down. In English, if we were to swap the words around in different ways, they would change the meaning, or they wouldn't make sense at all. So let's duplicate this. What about this? To the dog belonging to Linda, gave the bone Alex in a park using a shovel. It doesn't make sense in English. Or something like this. To the dog belonging to Linda, the bone gave in the park using a shovel Alex. Absolutely does not make sense. But in Russian, very interestingly, there's a little cheat in the system. You see, every noun in Russian, in a sentence, has a little tag that tells the speaker and the listeners what is the role of every word in the sentence. What does it do? So Alex will do something, the one who does something will appear in English as the first word in a sentence, usually. In Russian, it doesn't have to be that way. In Russian, the tags will tell you what they do, so you don't really need to follow a fixed word order like in English. So if I were to do this, to the dog belonging to Linda, using a shovel, gave Alex in the park the bone, or even like this, when you have, sorry, I forgot. So these are all the little tags. So the red markers are all the little tags on it. Now, what if I did this? Again, you have Alex, the bone, with the second one. The third one is to the dog. The fourth is belonging to Linda. The fifth is using a shovel, and 6 in the park. The order is pretty much irrelevant in this case because the words have little markers at the end of them that tell you what they do. And what are these markers? Well, in the word for dog, these are these little endings here. So the little letters at the end, sabaka, sabaku, sabakye, sabaki, sabake, and sabaki again, these are the case, what's called a case system. And the case system will tell you what each element in a sentence does. So, for example, if we look at this, all the little numbers over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In Russian, the word for dog has 6 forms in the singular. And you see how they correspond? And those little endings will tell you exactly who is doing what to whom. So that's the case system. Now, for example, in a sentence like Alex gave the bone to the dog belonging to Linda using a shovel in the park, you have Alex dal kost sabakye Lindy lapate v parke. Now we flip them around, for example, like this. It would still make sense to a Russian speaker. Dal Alex kost sabakye Lindy lapate v parke. It would make 100% sense and sound completely logical to a Russian speaker. The difference is in Russian, people use the positions of the words in a sentence, the word order, to show emphasis or stress, whereas an English speaker would tend to keep the word order the same, and use this tone of voice to show, oh, it's Alex that was the one who gave the bone to the dog, whereas in Russian you can actually flip them around and show emphasis on any part of sentence, and regardless how you sort of twist and turn and rearrange the sentence, it would still make sense because of the cases. So for example, if I were to say v parke dal Alex sabakye Lindy kost lapate, again it would make sense. If I said it this way, sabakye Lindy dal Alex kost lapate v parke, it would make sense. And that is the end of our first lesson. There's more to come in the coming videos, and I'll see you soon.